rockets and LG just a little bit off. You know, like, I can't really give you a distance because it depends on your screen, but you'll see he's just a little bit off tonight. And like you said, he could be hot and cold, but he's definitely one of my favorite up-and-coming players, just because of how he's done in the last few tournaments. I mean, he's established, but I hope he can get to Hang's level or something like that and get out of the like top 3 or top 5 finishes that he's been in.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I mean, because it's just, you know, he's been playing for so long that I think that, you know, you might say, you know, he would need this, whatever this is, in order to get into that, you know, caliber. But when you've been playing for as long as he is, I mean, like, what's his incentive? You know, I mean, he still gets to go to all the tournaments. You know, obviously, he wants to win it. It's a nice turnaround, actually. Ray, rocket jumping up for some armor. A little bit of a... That's his ISP shooting on him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chance is smooth.
He also confused the hell out of Chance. Chance is like, oh, where'd he go?
Got a little matrix thing going on.
And he can control red here. Nice. He can fall back to red. Interesting move by Chance. That I didn't really expect. I expected Chance to just peek, take one shot, and head straight back to red. Instead, he took his time looking for a shot all the way up where Chance is now, and that really delayed him. So he's missed out on red. So Ray now has the opportunity to bring this thing back. That's a huge rocket, and he'll basically have both items here if he's quick. Not quick enough. There it is. Head straight for red, and Ray suddenly is back in great shape.
Oop, that was a nice rocket.
Pretty squarely. That was a great rocket.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Mega.
I think Ray's X factor is that he has a really good concept spatially where his opponent is, and his spam is so, you know, controlled. He gets a lot of damage off on the sides, and I think like the rest of the game is still a work in progress, like you said. He's just got a really good idea of where the opponent is.
Nice exit damage by Chance. Ray will drop in on red to heal up. And now, you know, I have to say, we're about to hit that halfway point. We've seen these guys duke it out. I mean, the score has been 2-1 for like 3 minutes. They're both just not committing to a fight, and I don't know, I'm worried about that because I think that Ray basically needs to make a decision and say, now is my time. Red armor has come up, he's got it, but Chance did a little bit of damage. Does a lot more damage with that rocket, and now Ray's in trouble because this Mega becomes scary as hell for him to grab. He's lucky that Chance followed him down there because that gave him an exit. I think Chance really should have stayed up and focused on taking control of the map because that right there was Ray's lease on life.
Yeah, we've seen that happen in a few other maps where Ray will be aggressive enough to shave off a lot of armor and health, lower that stack down, and not finish the job.
Yeah, I mean, and the clock is starting to get away. I mean, it's plenty of time to get the one frag, but, you know, he's had the issue that I'm having is that he's had a few opportunities where everything was in his favor, but he's not seizing them. And so maybe that's just he's not confident playing against Chance. He doesn't know what he can get away with.
Well, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that he's purposefully not closing in on the frags because if he does tie up the game, it's going to put a little bit more tension on both players and start forcing some more dynamic battles, and maybe Ray will end up, maybe he feels a little insecure about that.
Yeah, maybe.
It's possible.
Because if you're down one frag and you're playing you're playing somebody like Chance, once you tie up the game, you actually up the ante a little bit, and both players tend to be sometimes a little bit more desperate or seem like they're in more of a struggle.
Nice. Now this is a play that I love. Oh shit, I don't love that. First, I was gonna say I love the idea of the rocket jump to get the LG damage, But wow, that really threw things off. I mean, that's the kind of mistake that, oh man, it really evened things up. Because look, 120 and 140, you know, Chance doesn't have a great stack, but Ray has to go back and reset. He has to go through again. He has to go through and get red and mega again. Basically wasting time. It's 7 minutes. It'll be 7:30 by the time that he sees Chance again, to be honest. And it's kind of a weird mistake. Here we go. Oh, barely a defensive rocket keeping Chance alive. Barely.
Yeah, I think Ray knows, even though, like you said earlier, there's no spawn frags, I think Ray knows that once he lets one frag get away from him, say if he commits and he dies, it's going to turn into 2 or 3.
Like this
Chance will just turn on that aggressive mode.
God.
Yeah. But Chance didn't come out of that fight good either, and with the exit damage, I mean, he's down to 30 health after that lava hit, so...
Yeah, I mean, they're both, I mean, one yellow armor separates them right now. This red will give Chance a slight advantage. But look at this Ray trying to do damage and almost ate a bunch of buckshot from Chance. That nade was pretty close too. But here's the thing. Now Ray is in a really shitty situation. He has to wait out for this mega. So, and they're actually jumping on Chance's nades. Oh boy. Oh my god, and there it is.
Oh.
So again, consider the opportunities that he had before and not committing to them. They were far better situations than this.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you know, like, it's sort of a gamble. You gotta figure out what the best, what's the best thing to gamble on. Like you said, what time is the best time to gamble, and if you're not willing to just commit and, you know, put your chips in, then it's really hard.
well, of course,
It's hard for, like, the...
1 minute warning.
Go ahead.
Well, the other problem that I have with him waiting so long is that he didn't leave room for a fuck up, which I would say the last 2 frags were fuck ups. Like, had he basically taken his shot maybe 3 minutes ago, then he could have come back and given Chance another run for his money. But instead, he basically put everything into getting 1 frag at, like, you know, the 8:40 mark or something. And it just, I don't know. I think that he could have been a little bit more risky, taking the risk.
Definitely. He was at 200, like around 7 minutes, and he didn't capitalize on a frag.
Right.
And that turned into 2 frags for Chance, and Chance basically had nothing. I mean, he had a couple YAs maybe a red in there somewhere, but, you know, like, when you're at 200, you really gotta go hunting. On the other hand, he does have a kind of a counterintuitive playstyle, but it just didn't pay off in this match, and it was a lot closer than 7. It was, you know, it was more like a 2 frag game, but Ray just let it get away.
Until about that 8:30 mark, I would say, whatever that was. So yeah, nice game all around though. We are tied up in maps, so I believe we go to DM6 for the tiebreaker. Let's see.
I still call him DKT, I don't know why. He's sort of a similar name to mine, right? We just like kind of like took all the important letters out and kept like, you know.
All right, folks.
Prepare to fight.
Here we go.
All right, we're on map 3.
2, 1.
Yeah, this is the tiebreaker, and I think this is where Ray really has his work cut out for him. This is a very familiar home for Chance, and
Yeah.
I don't even remember how many years he would have of experience on DM6. It's also one of Chance's stronger maps. So, let's see how this first flight goes.
As much as I'm pulling for Ray, I just don't like his I don't want to say chance, but I don't like his chance on this map. I was optimistic on a lot of the other ones, but I just feel like he's just not. This is just not going to be a comfortable map for him, and in a close game, he's probably not going to be able to pull it out. But I think we'll see an interesting match. It could go either way, but Chance has a huge advantage on this map just because of his experience.
Yeah, see, and one thing I want to just comment about this play, you notice how Chance never really pushed for anything.